Bob, thank you for doing a quick interview with me. Why are you here in Haiti?
Well, I'm not on a vacation, I'm on a mission. I ran into a real good friend of mine who talked to me about what he's doing down here in Haiti with a group called New Missions. And I've been here once before. This is my second trip down, and I have fallen in love with this country and with some of the people that I have met here. And I am here filming for New Missions. We're doing a variety of projects. One in particular this time is we are highlighting and profiling a success story of New Missions, which is this one young lady by the name of Chantel, who started out as a child here in New Mission School, and she graduated high school, and then New Mission sent her on to nursing school, and now she is a pharmacist at the on-compound clinic. And she's changing the life of children just like she had the opportunity. And so I love this country. I love everything about it. I'm a very visual person, and I love the visuals here. The country is absolutely stunning, from the greens to the blues to the people. But also the people's spirit is amazing, and I see God working here all the time. He's done a number on me every time I come here, and so I'm just blessed to be here and be a part of this incredible mission.
Not only did you do Facing the Giants and Fireproof, but you've done a lot of other big movies, not the least of which is The Bourne Ultimatum. You had done some work on that. But tell me how you feel about doing Christian movies, because I know it's a big difference there.
Oh, you got it right. There's no question. Just right off the bat, when we started filming Facing the Giants, it's the first and only movie that I had worked on where we started every day on our knees in prayer and finished the day exactly the same way. I've worked on a lot of Hollywood movies, big budget films, and never before had prayed collectively as a film group for a project before it started, nonetheless every morning and every afternoon. So in that sense, that's totally different to me. There's no egos on the films that we've been working on, which is another first. Everything, some things that you think about Hollywood films, they're is true. Some things maybe are myths, but the experience was very freeing. There wasn't a lot of pressure. There wasn't a lot of arguments. There wasn't everything. One of the sayings was we were hard to anger and quick to forgive, and that's how you have to be on a set. Everybody's there working their hardest, and there's a feeling that you're doing something that's more than just for a paycheck, more than just for work. You're doing something to change the heart of a person, and every single day I came to work, you felt that unity, that goal on the set, and it was something I've never experienced before. It was amazing.
Now, with the movie Fireproof, and I hear it's doing wonderfully out there, and that God has blessed it and brought a lot of people in front of the movie screen to see it. What are probably one of the favorite things that you can tell us about making that movie?
Well, when I read the script for Fireproof, I always read it from a technical standpoint, and there's two very hard, challenging scenes. One is a fire scene that takes place inside a house, and another one is an accident that takes place on a railroad crossing. And that one in particular, I was very nervous about how we were going to do that. We didn't have very much time. We were talking about coordinating a locomotive with 10 cargo trains or cargo cars, and we're talking about a fire department, and we're talking about a crashed car. And so that one was big, and God did show up every single day and help us. And in that scene in particular, the greatest story is that we had this crashed car that was supposed to end up on the tracks. We took the engine out of it. It was a compact car, but it still weighed 1,000 pounds. And we had a very intricate shot to make, that the car had to be placed in exactly the right place. And we were jostling it around, and we were wasting time, and we couldn't pick it up, and we had to get winches to pull it in. And someone mentioned, man, it would be great if we had a forklift, and we're in the middle of nowhere. We're 60 miles away from Albany, which is a tiny place in the middle of a farm field. So we had like 4 houses within our sight, and so it just so happens we're working on that for an hour, and we're wasting time, and the sun is setting, and everybody's kind of getting nervous. How are we gonna a guy who had been standing there watching the whole thing walked up to the assistant director and said, you know, I heard that somebody said something about a forklift. I got one behind my house if you need it. And his house was literally 50 yards away. So he goes back to his house, and all of a sudden we hear boom, 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 boom. And this industrial-sized forklift comes around his house, comes over, picks up the car, puts it anywhere we want for the next 2 hours, and he takes it back at home. How could that, I mean, how can you script that? So that's just one of the miracles that happened, and that scene actually turned out very well. I think it's a very powerful scene in the movie.
That's an awesome story. I have one more question for you, Bob. If there is an aspiring Christian filmmaker out there that wants to make some films and things like that, what would you say to them to inspire them to go forward with that dream?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, if God's planted that dream in your heart, you gotta just grab hold of it and don't let go, and don't let that fire burn out, and don't let people who say that you can't allow you to squish that dream. The other thing is that most dreams that you have are going to take some work. And what I would do is, because filmmaking and cinematography is a very technical oriented craft, it's also an artistic craft, that you have to learn the technical first. And it's just like if you're going to be a painter, you need to know what kind of colors to mix, you need to know what kind of brushes to use in order to get the effect that you want. So if you start out building your career on sand and don't have that technical foundation, you can only build your craft so high. If you start out with a foundation that's built, a solid foundation that's built on the technology of your craft, you know, the sky's the limit for where you can go. So that's what I would recommend, is keep the dream alive, but also do the work up front, so that when you come to meet that dream, that you're going to have the ability and the wherewithal to finish through on it.
Wow, Bob, that's awesome advice. Actually, you know, it kind of parallels the Christian faith, you know, building a strong foundation on your faith, so that when you have struggles and things like that, then you have a foundation to rely on, and the foundation is Jesus Christ. Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate you spending some time and talking to us.